They're going to get people as far away as they can and hope that someone has been able to contact the gas company, and the gas company's job is to do what?
Shut off the source.
All right, shut it off, but where do they shut it off from?
Remote control.
In most cases, today, you have remote control. Some of the older ones have not been upgraded and require that a person go in and actually turn the handle to shut it down. How far apart are most of these shut-offs?
20 miles.
What?
20 miles?
They hope they're about 8 miles.
8.
Now, if they're 8 miles apart, you not only turn off the one that is from the supply end, but also the one that's going downstream. How long does it take for that gas to escape and or the fire to go out? What?
Hours.
Days. The main thing is that you're looking at a gas line pipeline, 26, 36, 42 inches, whatever, and just imagine a tank car and how many tank cars you can fit into an 8-mile stretch between each of the shut-off points.
Ooh, 8 miles. Yeah.
So, in thinking about this, the thing is that the environmental people hope it catches on fire. Why?
Burn out all the fuel.
It turns out that methane is 10 times more damaging to the environment than carbon dioxide. So if it is burning, then you no longer have the fear of it collecting downhill somewhere and causing another explosion, fire, etc. So in a sense, they would prefer that it be burning rather than escaping. Which was what happened in this particular picture. It's very hard to see, but there's a plume of dust being thrown up in the back there. It's, right about there. So the important aspect is you have to take care of yourself. The EMS people are capable. They know what they're doing. And after things have happened, they are going to be able to control things. But in the beginning, if you happen to be there, you have to take care of yourself. You have to look for things. If you're out on a hike, the Heisinger campground we used to go to many years ago had a pipeline on it. Now, what are some of the things that you can see in a pipeline when it's leaking, but not really that badly? You'll see a bunch of dead insects around. You may see in the summertime ice because you have a compressed gas that is expanding, and this compressed gas that's expanding is cooling.
Oh.
That's how refrigeration occurs.
Okay.
So you can sometimes hear it, and also sometimes you'll see a plume of dust coming up from the area. So if you see any of these things, what do? No.
Go somewhere
Get out of the
safe.
area.
Oh,
Get out of the area, and then use your phone that's going to cause the explosion.
911.
You're talking still, even if that pipeline is buried, you would still maybe observe dead insects around where there was a leakage. Are you talking about it?
Well, how solid is dirt?
Not very.
It is what you would say a permeable
permeable.
material.
Right.
So the other thing is that if you're not in an agricultural area, the top of the pipeline is 3 feet down. If you're in an area where they perform agricultural activities, it's 4 feet down.
Okay.
If there should be a leak, and it's pretty hard to imagine, but if there should be, then the gas will start to escape. Right now, there's a pipeline going underneath the Mississippi River that is leaking.
Yeah.
And so they can see it, but they really haven't got a clue what to do about it. But it isn't at a point where it is a concern to them at this point. But they know that it is leaking.
So wouldn't it be easier to fix it before it became a more grave concern than after it was a huge rupture?
Well, the situation is that everything ages,
Yeah.
and you don't know what that length of time is going to be. Now, one thing that you'll find out from the various gas line companies is that they have specialized monitoring equipment that is designed to identify a leak or a rupture. Well, this works if it's major. If it's minor, then it's more difficult. The 42-inch supply line, as was pointed out earlier, is not going to one destination only. It is going to other places. And as such, when it goes into a peaking unit at a gas-fired plant, the demand is between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock for that gas. And so there's a variable demand, and these can all be factored in, but it's also possible that it won't be detected except by a person or generally by a person.
Art, do you know what kind of pressures are involved on a 42-inch line?
They tell us it's 1,100 pounds.
1,100 PSI?
Correct.
So
Now,
if that pipe ruptures, you're going to know it. It's going to make a
right.
hell of a noise.
Yeah, as you said, if it ruptures, and this is not really, it's a 50-year-old pipe, and it's relatively small. But they are talking pressures between 1,100 and 1,500 pounds. Again, there's a concern that if the pressure is too great, then it becomes your liquefied natural gas. And then it creates problems in transport at that point. Jim, you had a concern about the 36-inch pipeline that goes out to the port. The story is that they're keeping those separate. It's part of the plan, but that 42-incher is one thing that they're trying to keep as an integral part, and that this other pipeline may eventually connect, but it isn't part of the deal, which is the way they're trying to get around it.
In 2005, I think it was, this is, for instance, there's pipelines through where they're doing mountaintop removal in Boone County, so yeah, hard to believe that they're the same. There was what's called a D12 dozer, has a 14-foot blade. The man was working on this dozer, and he was going into an area that he knew there was a gas line. The company tells him, go do your job or go home, it's your choice. So he gets on his dozer, he goes to do his job, he hits this pipeline. I think it was an 18-inch pipeline, and when it blew the dozer 25 feet in the air. The gas sucked into the bottom of the dozer, ignited, and blew the dozer 25 feet in the air. They literally found parts of the gentleman that was operating that dozer. So yeah, massive amount of pressure, and that's on an 18-inch line.
Yeah, now the thing is that in that case it wasn't the gas pressure, it was the force of the explosion.
It was, true.
Now, can I confuse anybody else further? But the main thing is, your responsibility is to keep yourself safe. Hopefully I've given you some ideas about how to identify something that's going wrong and what to do when it does. The main thing is get out of the area and report.
Thank you.
Oh, in the absence of any of the professional people that are here to talk, I guess I should fill in this moment of silence and allow Lauren to do whatever.
I was reminded, one thing I neglected to mention, that we need to know. It affects the landowner.